on up.
Good to see you.
Congratulations. Okay. All right, so we will start with a statement from Coach Lavin, then we'll have questions for the student athletes, and then we'll dismiss them and have questions for Coach.
Thank you. Pleased for our players to, now be 2-0 in the month of March. As we've said, undefeated in March, and that's what championship week and conference tournaments are all about. It's a reset, a fresh start, a new beginning, and our team has taken advantage of it. We've seen it in practices in terms of the preparation, and then getting a win against Portland on senior day, and now opening up the West Coast Conference tournament with a victory. So with the challenging season we've had, I just couldn't be more proud of our players' resilient spirit. It's not easy when the losses are piling up and you're in the midst of a losing streak to keep your dauber up, come to practice with a good attitude, continue to encourage your teammates by being a good teammate and eager to learn. And that's what this group has done in spite of, in my experience, an unprecedented amount of injuries. And we've had 17 different starting lineups as a result. And yet, no excuses. They keep coming back from deficits. And even when we don't punch through to get to the winner's circle, we hang around with few exceptions. St. Mary's, who's thumped a lot of teams this year, it's more a compliment to St. Mary's than a knock on us. But they took us to the woodshed, and there may have been one other game, but 98% of the games, we just keep fighting back. And we did it again tonight. 21 lead changes, 12 ties. That's unique. And a lot of, runs in this game. Basketball's a game of runs. There were a lot tonight, a lot of counter punching. And the free throws were the difference for us, 27 of 30, shooting 90% from the charity stripe. And that's something we've, excelled at this year. But there were times this season where we didn't get to the foul line frequently enough. Tonight we got there frequently enough and made them. So pleased for the two players to my left and all the players back in the locker room.
All right, questions for the student athletes.
Hey, Tony, freshman, and this is your first postseason game. What was that like, and how did you feel going to the foul line with whatever it was, 3 seconds left after you missed one just a bit before?
So it's first game, but it just feels like any other game. We're all all my teammates always we all stay really tight, so it's like I know I'm going in there with my brother, so I don't really have to worry about anything. And then even when I missed the free throw, they just said, keep your head up, you're going to shoot another one, keep going. So it's really relieving to have people around me like that.
And so how do you guys feel about the fact that you got this first one and you get to keep playing?
Yeah, well, we all packed to stay for a lot longer, so we wanted to win. We all expected to win, so we're just ready to go to the next round.
And Cody, if I can ask you sort of what's gotten into you the last couple of games. You played, I believe, NAIA and Division II, and here you are on the big stage in Division I, and 35 points a few days ago, and now another big game today. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's just I didn't have the season I wanted to. We didn't have the season we wanted to at the beginning of the year, but we just kept coming back. I personally was dealing with a little bit of an injury in my back, but I'm feeling really good now, 100%, and I think that's helped a lot. And, just playing confident, believing in myself and all the work that I've shown and like you mentioned, the journey. So I'm just so happy to be here and given this opportunity.
And can you talk about the confidence you guys had in Tony when he went to the foul line?
Yeah, like you said, he missed one earlier, but I went up right to him when he got fouled there and said he's going to knock this down and he's going to win us a game. So just so proud of this kid right here as a freshman. That's awesome to go win a game at the free throw line.
Cody, Tony kind of talked about it already, but when you talk about the resiliency that your team has faced this season, how have you guys stuck together? Because it's not always easy to seek shelter in a storm like that.
Yeah, Coach calls it we were in a desert, but now there's some water, so that's awesome to see. And this team, I've never been in a part of a team where, we only won, 4 or 5 games this whole season, but we kept coming back every day, the same energy. Never been a part of something like that, and it's it's finally paying off.
One quick one for Tony. As a freshman, you're absolutely unafraid. It's clear towards the midpoint of the season onwards. What about your preparation has prepared you for moments like this where you just go and take it?
Well, yeah, I've been watching college basketball since I was little, and then all the work I put in, like my parents, my trainers, everybody like around me, they always just told me trust my work. So every time I get out there, I just gotta play with no fear. Because if I play scared, then I'm just not gonna do what I really can.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Okay. Thanks, Tony. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Cody.
you, guys.
Way to go, fellas.
Steve, can you talk about Kluwett's journey and you saw a guy when you recruited him who had played at a different level. How do you know he translates?
Well, his feel for the game, his shot mechanics, his intellect as a basketball player, high IQ, temperament, not in the peaks or valleys. There's a maturity about him that comes with life experience. And he's overcome some injuries that almost derailed him from ever being able to play the sport again. And that's why he is older. He took some time off. First player I've ever recruited that already had his undergraduate degree and his MBA when he arrived at USD. And so those things, led us to being confident that he'd be able to help us. With the absence of P.J. Hayes, we had P.J. Hayes go on to Rutgers. We had Deuce Turner go to UC Santa Barbara. Wayne McKinney crossed town to San Diego State, and then Kevin Patton went up to play for Eric Musselman, who actually just texted me here, former Torero, to play for the USC Trojans. And so those four leading scorers, our four starters, if they come back this year, we're a different team. But this group has stepped into that void and battled and represented our school on and off the court in a first-class manner. And there's things behind the scenes that as a coach you're aware of that, the casual fan or someone on the outside might not be aware of in terms of growth and character building and things that sound cliche. And coaches are prone to using platitudes and whatnot in their careers. But with this group, it's really the case. They're as unique a group as I've coached in 36 years. I've never been around such a unique and special, close-knit team. And in particular, what makes it, so counterintuitive is it's come in a season where we've had these struggles. Because it's easier to have a close bond, when you're having a terrific season and you win a national title or you're winning a conference title or making deep runs in the tournament. But you find out more about your character, your makeup, kind of the fabric of a team when you struggle. And there's opportunities for growth in struggle. That was a theme we naturally spoke to a great deal this year because we had our share of being in the desert. The waters finally found its way to the desert, thankfully, in San Diego. But Cody's even keel, temperament, and mature bearing during our struggles as a team and during his struggles with his back injury. And but now he's found his flow, he's found his rhythm, and I'm pleased that he's getting a finish, on a positive note.
Tony, on the play with 12, you had a timeout, I think, with 12 seconds. Did you call it for him to take it all the way to the basket, or what was the play?
Yes, it was, basically getting space, creating some space for Tony to try and get downhill. He accelerates well off the bounce. Some guys kind of handle the ball, but they can't really accelerate and get by anybody. It's more quick handles and footwork to be able to create separation for a step-back jumper. And Tony has both. That's what makes him so difficult to guard is he can knock down threes, he can turn the corner off dribble penetration, accelerate all the way to the rim, or he can stop and pop at the mid-range if you gap up on him. And so he's a real, handful for opponents to defend. He's gotten more, he's improved defensively, playing with more tenacity. Off season, he'll have to work on building his strength and getting the 3 square meals and, But right now, it's more in his mindset that he's more tenacious, more aggressive on D, and then offensively playing with purpose. He had 7 assists, no turnovers in our last game, and working on not forcing. We wanted to be aggressive, but not force. Play with some aggression, but also purposeful. And I think that's where he's made real growth down the stretch.
But there was a pretty good chance he was going to get fouled going to the basket in that play,
Mhm.
and you were comfortable with him doing that, even though he just missed his last one.
Yeah, I think on the season, he's up there as one of the better. I don't know if he's 90 or in the high 80s, but I feel like he's one of our better free throw shooters, and that's been a strength of ours. 27 for 30 tonight, and we don't always shoot a lot of them, but the ones we take go in, thankfully, the majority of the time. And even Stevens improved his free throw shooting over the course of the 3 years at Sandy at USD. But Joey Chama, Cody Cluett, Dev, and Tony are exceptional free throw shooters, and so that helped us tonight that we're able to get to the foul line.
And you're playing LMU. I think they beat you twice. What do you have to do differently this time?
Yeah, I mean, up there, that was as heartbreaking a loss as we've had all season. We were ahead, I think up 1, and we missed a dunk. We missed a layup. We missed the front end of a 1-on-1. And we had a possession. We got an offensive rebound and could have just put it back in. We were up 1. It would have put us up 3, and we actually dribbled it out behind the three-point line. Didn't end up getting a good shot off. It would have been a good play if we were down 3, pass up the 2-pointer to get behind the arc to try and hit a 3-pointer to tie it. But that game, up there was one that, we felt was within our control to win. Give Loyola credit because they found a way to win. But we really played well up there. At our place, it was a back and forth, but they kind of, I'd say dominated more of the game than was the case up at Loyola. So they're a good team with a lot of weapons. They create some matchup dilemmas. Stan and Lorenzo do a terrific job, of deploying players almost NBA style to take advantage of a matchup that they feel, put their team in a competitive position to win games. And so, within your schemes, you've got to have a number of coverages ready because depending who has it going for them, they've got, 5-6 guys on any given night can get 20, 25 points. So we'll have to think with this, short turnaround. I'm glad we play in the evening so we can get back, hydrate, get our rest, and start doing our preparation for Loyola Marymount.
Okay. Great.
All right, thanks,
Thanks,
you.
Coach.
See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey, Mitch, I didn't know you were here. That's great. Good luck, Sean. You, Brian, showed up tonight. Kara.
That's right. Sorry. That's right. Apologize.
I'll see you guys in a bit. Take care of you guys.
Thank you, Steve.
right, welcome to Pacific. We will begin with an opening statement from Coach Dave Smart, followed by questions for Elias Ralph and Lamar Washington. After questions for the student athletes, we'll dismiss them and have questions for Coach Smart. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a tough way to lose. I thought we did a lot of pretty positive things. As I say to our guys, the biggest thing for us in this year and with these two guys, I mean, I don't know where we'd be without these two. I mean, I know they're heartbroken about losing, and everybody loses their last game except one team, but I don't know what we'd do, where we'd be without these two guys. And moving forward, you know, just I feel really fortunate that I get to do it with these guys. And you know, for me, this year is about getting better and building a bit of a culture and being in fights as much as possible. And I think for the most part we were, and I think we put ourselves in position to win a lot of games. And the biggest thing I always asked of them was just an effort and a fight to the end, no matter what the situation is. It's hard to be upset with the fight they put out. I mean, it's as I said, it's hard to win with 19 turnovers, but no one's trying to turn the ball over. You know, we've got some things that we got to get better at, and you know, but for me, I'm proud of the effort we put out all year. We don't get to do a lot of press conferences. I've done a few in the past in Carleton, but like I don't get to do a ton of press conferences this year with our team. You know, we're not Gonzaga, we're not St. Mary's, but I'm pretty happy that I'm doing this one with these two, because you know, I had Lamar last year at Tech, and you know, he was just an unbelievable teammate all year, and you know, didn't get a lot of minutes, and we were a good team. Don't get me wrong, we were a good team, but he was an unbelievable teammate. He did everything the team asked of him, and he didn't get a ton of opportunity, and he wanted an opportunity to play and get make some mistakes. And we're a little lower level than Big 12, but I think he came with me, and I knew what he was as a person, and he didn't disappoint. And I think as a player, I mean, it's hard to joke right now because of losing the way we did, but our first scrimmage, I think we were both like, whoa.
Yeah.
And you know, then he scores 40 and makes that shot against Washington State at Washington State, and you know, he's an all-conference player, and I couldn't be prouder of what he's accomplished and where he's come from in a year. Elias, I mean, nobody knew who he was at all, other than if you were in U Sport. I mean, he wasn't even a first-team All-Canadian in U Sport, which, like I said, not a lot of people knew about. And, I mean, when I recruited Elias, I said, listen, I promise I wouldn't have you come from Canada, from Victoria to here to play less than 15 minutes a game. I see you somewhere in our rotation of 7, 8.
Mm-hmm.
And he got here, and 2 weeks in,
One option.
it was pretty obvious that he was going to be more than our 7th, 8th guy. And that's a good thing, and a little bit of a bad thing, but definitely a good thing. And he's been thrown into the fire. I mean, he went from UVic, where he probably had less responsibility, where he was the second sort of guy who touched the ball on that team, to the WCC, playing against the teams I mentioned and having more responsibility. And I think what he's done, I mean, I'll just say it. I mean, we were in the room after, and I said, Elias, what do you think? And you know, you don't hear it very often. He had 23 points and 11 rebounds, and his comment was, I cost us the game it's my fault. People don't like they don't think that way. They don't feel that way unless they're of high character. And for me, he's been unbelievable. And we're so lucky because he's got the waiver. U Sports, same as junior college, so he's back. And I couldn't be more thrilled to have another 30 to 40 games with him playing alongside Lamar. I think we'll get some guys to make it a little easier on them, and I couldn't be happier. But like I said, this is a tough press conference. But if you're going to ask me who to do it with, it would be these two guys, and I couldn't be prouder of them.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Questions for the student athletes?
Lamar, your coach sort of alluded to the frenetic nature of this game. I think there was 21 lead changes, 12 ties, lots of free throws, lots of turnovers, lots of fouls. You guys had the lead for good portions of it. Was it hard to actually grab the thing by the neck and hold on to it?
Yeah, that was our goal. We was trying to break up the lead, but it was just tough. It was back and forth game, and I feel like we just kept making simple mistakes, on defense or that'd be offense with the turnovers, and it sort of made it harder just to break that lead. But yeah, we were trying to break it open for a while there.
Elias, can you talk about sort of what you see as the future of the program going forward with the two of you and Coach?
Yeah, I think we're on the right path. Going into this year, we knew it was going to be tough in this conference, and with the team we had, 14 new guys. But I think we just really wanted to build that culture and just know, every game we're just going to fight. And we did that, I think. And so next year we can get some more talent and some, better players, and then we can start winning more games. And it's just it's a progress.
And what was the transition like playing from Canada to here?
It's a big jump. I would just say the speed of the game and the physicality is just the main thing. It's night and day.
And Lamar, I think you came from Texas Tech, but Coach.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going from a big time league
Yeah.
Down to the WCC, which is still a pretty competitive league this year.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a totally different role. How was that for you?
Really just a blessing, I say. It feels good, playing last year at Tech, didn't play that much, playing out of position, and for Coach, have me come here and trust me and put the ball in my hands. It was a great feeling, and it was tough. This conference is hard, we got people to make the tournament, Gonzaga, St. Clair, but we're just trying to fight every game and try to put ourselves up there now.
You feeling good about next year?
Most definitely. I feel like now that, this year was a lot of new guys, but next year we should have camaraderie, chemistry, people coming back together, so it wouldn't be a whole new team, and then we add some talent. I feel like we most definitely be fun.
Lamar, it was a big season for you, all WCC second team. Your reflection on the growth that you've had from Tech to now, and to almost have a self-reward of, here's how I know I'm making a difference in the WCC.
Just really trusting my game, and then, like I said, Coach putting confidence in my game, and then my teammates, and just working day in, night out, Not really just trying to prove myself, but just trying to win. I just go out there to just try to win for my team and fight every game, and it just plays out how it plays out.
And one last one for the both of you. You guys took different leaps of faith to be with Coach Smart today and now sitting in these chairs. What about this last calendar year or so has taught you that this was the right decision for me and this is the right program for me going forward?
I answer that for me real quick. For me personally, it's not even just about stuff on the court. When somebody helps you off the court and helps you as a man and grow as a person off the court also, that's how you know it's the right decision. That's how it was for me. It wasn't just only basketball. He helped me become a better man and a better person. I feel like that's the most important thing. Connections for life.
Mm-hmm. I would just say, coming here, I had no idea what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to play or anything, what he kind of mentioned. So him just trusting me and believing in me, even when, it's the last little bit I've struggled, and he's just still believing in me, trusting in me, still giving me the ball and everything. It's just so nice to have, and I think we're just going to build on it for next year.
Okay. Thank you to the student athletes. You guys are free to go, and we'll take questions for Coach Smart here in a second.
Dave, I think what I asked them about just sort of the nature of this game, it's just kind of all over the map. And did it feel like it was hard to really get control at any point?
Yeah, we've struggled with turnovers and live ball turnovers all year, and it's part of the growing process. I mean, you want to. We had so many new players, and Lamar, as he said, he's gone from being a foreman to a point guard, and Elias went from U Sport to this sport to WCC, and our preseason was no joke either, and you know, so I wanted to make sure that they felt some freedom and they played with some aggression. I mean, I don't want to say we didn't expect to have a successful season, because we're trying every game to give ourselves a chance. And we beat Washington State, you know, twice, who are a really, really talented team. We beat LMU at their place by a lot. I mean, a good team. So we had it in us, but we also knew we weren't going to the NCAA tournament. We also knew we probably weren't winning the WCC or in the top 3 in the WCC. So there's a fine line between, you know, being nitpicky over every single possession, like I probably was at Carleton when we were winning national championships, and you know, it wasn't there was no process. We got through the process. Now it was win and get it done. Now we're in a process, and I think these guys, you know, they learn from mistakes, and they played harder and kept together through it all, and I think that was extremely important to me. So I had to give them some trust, and you know, Lamar put it best. You know, he's gone. Sort of his process is kind of where our team's got to go, from, you know, getting more comfortable with the ball, having more confidence, having more faith and more trust that they can sort of make a mistake here or there, to just getting on the floor and trying to win. And next year, you know, that's our goal. I mean, I think the reason I went to Pacific, I mean, I left a great situation at Tech, and I loved Tech, and my family loved Tech, and being an assistant coach, you get way more sleep than being a head coach. So, you know, I left a great, but I came because our president and our AD had a vision. I mean, and I think they've both really backed up that vision. I mean, I'm not going to get into details, but I know that everything that I was told was going to happen has happened. And, you know, I think it says a lot about how much they've put into the commitment to the men's basketball program. So now it's our job. I mean, the fact that we are going to probably retain 2 pretty good players in this league, you know, and they're going to be veterans, they're going to be seniors, and then I think we have an opportunity to add some pieces, and we're going to have 5 or 6 guys retained, so there can be some continuity, which, you know, with the best teams have continuity. I mean, obviously Gonzaga, St. Mary's are the best 2 teams. For us, the scariest team is Santa Clara, and they've got guys, like, they kicked the crap out of us twice, and like they've been together. They've been together for a while, just like those 2 teams who are at the top of the league. So for us to have some continuity and then add some pieces, I'm just thrilled that, you know, it was a tough situation coming in. You know, the portal's pretty much dry. We're not in last year, not at the top level in terms of, you know, resources in the well, we're getting there, and the portal's not dry, and we're getting there. So with these 2 guys and my AD Adam and our president, I'm pretty excited about our future. But I'll tell you, it was a lot of great guys and headed by those 2, but losing's hard. I mean, it's yeah. If you're not used to it, it's hard. But I mean, I think it's good for everybody. It's good for these 2 guys too. Like, I mean, they haven't experienced it much, and I think it's good not just for our group and me, but it's good for them. But I've had enough, so hopefully not do it much more.
All right, one more question for Coach.
Coach, it's obviously very in the moment right now, but it's no secret the amount of success you've had pretty much everywhere you've been. What are those next steps for this specific program and getting strides to even being towards like 4th or 5th spot here in the WCC?
Well, I mean, I think you need to retain the type of people that you want to retain, and that's what the best teams have done. And you know, there's things that go into that, obviously, in the new college basketball world. But I think you have to Like the portal's not as simple as, he's really good, he's okay. No, like you gotta get the right type of people, and sometimes it takes a lot of work and a lot of time to make sure that you get the right type of people. Because if you have enough talent and you have the right type of people, I mean, you can do a lot of things. I mean, one of our best games all year was our game with St. Mary's for us, and that's because, I mean, I don't want to disrespect Randy by comparing them to my Carleton teams, but it was like, they have veteran guys. They play together. They care about each other. They care about winning over everything, and they just do. You know what they're going to do. They just do it so well that you can't stop it. And it's sort of the way I felt we got to at Carleton. Now, we had guys for 4 or 5 years, and we got to a point where everybody's saying, well, how do you beat all these D1 teams? We have pretty good players who have gotten better, but they know they don't care about anything but winning. And everybody knows what we're going to do, but that doesn't matter because we're going to do it so well that we're going to get the shot we want, and we're going to make you take the shot we want you to take every possession. And that's St. Mary's. I mean, you want a blueprint? There's a blueprint. I mean, obviously Gonzaga's a great blueprint, but for me, like a comparison to my Carleton time, you ask what we're trying to do, there's the blueprint. What Randy's done there, that's the blueprint. I mean, will we try to play a little faster? Maybe, but I mean, it's hard to. I mean, I watch that team. I watch them play every game. We only played them once this year, and I watch them play every game. I just think it is the blueprint for being a real threat in the NCAA tournament and not being a blue blood, not being a Power 4. And I don't see why we can't do that. I see no reason why we can't get to that point. No disrespect. He's the greatest coach. Him and Mark are crazy in terms of what they've done, and what they've done staying in the WCC is so special to the WCC. So I'm not trying to say I'm as good as him. I'm just saying that it's been done, and I think I have done it at another level, at a high rate. So, if you want a blueprint, there's a blueprint, and that's what we're going to try to get to. And will it happen in a year? No, but can we get there? Can we be scary? I think we can be scary next year. I think we can get to a point where people don't want to play us.
Okay, great. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.